What's up, everybody? I just doing a casual stream today. I'm sure nobody's hearing this at the moment because this is a very low-key stream. But in case anybody out there in the world is hearing me right now, just going to be playing a Link's Awakening. A Link? No, just Link's Awakening. Just typing in some of the important information here. There you go. Oh, someone is here. Auntie Vanty, what's up? Okay, just gonna send a link out to some people so that they can check it out if they want. Alright, first stream to Secret She Says, and it's going to be Link's Awakening. Here's the YouTube link to watch. Going to be a casual stream of. Okay, cool. That should work, right? 1 second. No, that's the server URL. All right, almost made that mistake. But not quite. All right, here we go. All right. So, I asked people on Twitter what they wanted me to stream first, and I offered either Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or Link's Awakening, and everybody picked Link's Awakening, I guess. So that's what we're gonna do first. Let me see. Oh, wow, we do have a couple people here. That's not too bad. 4 people. Looks like we still have a ways to go before we catch up with the Twitch numbers. The Twitch numbers would reach around 15 to 30 people. Let's see if we can break that record tonight. I doubt it, but you know, it's worth just mentioning just to see if it happens. But yeah, I'll be looking at the chat. So if you ever have any questions, let me know. I'll be sure to talk to you. It's a very, very small, intimate stream, so chances are if you do ask a question, I definitely will be able to get to it. Someone says, I want a follow-up called Link's Sleeping. Oh, I get like a sequel? Okay. I could kind of see that. Man, if they did a sequel to this game specifically, that would really take away from the ending of this game, I'll tell you that. I like how really soothing music is what it takes to wake up this walrus. Oh, but they did add a little bit of a kind of a poppin' vibe to it. I don't know if you guys can really hear it. I did try to keep the game volume pretty low, but oh, somebody messaged me. Let me see what's going on. Just make sure. Okay. All right. Let me see what we got in the chat. It says, why are you streaming on this channel and not your main one? Well, primarily it's because the main channel has a very specific audience. And you guys probably here watching me right now, you guys are probably more dedicated as fans than a lot of the people that watch Boundary Break. To give you an idea, I have like 600,000 subscribers. And only like 60,000 people watched the Kid Icarus Uprising episode. It's because they're there for the content. And so like there's a very small number of people that will watch every single video. And then there's people that are just waiting for the next game that they're excited about. And that's what the main channel essentially is. Again, a lot of the people that enjoy following me outside of Boundary Break, they're there on Twitter. You're here right now. But like if I try to stream me just playing Link's Awakening on the main channel, it's going to aggravate a lot of very casual viewers that subscribe just to, you know, check out the next Boundary Break episode. That's basically why. I actually thought about, by the way, this is on hero mode. You can tell by the bottom left hand corner, although it's actually kind of disguised really well. Yeah, I was thinking about actually streaming this, not this specifically, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate boundary breaking on the main channel, so it's relevant and everything. But then again, at the same time, it's so few people would want to watch that. They're there for the produced content. So I'm probably going to end up actually doing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate boundary breaking live streams over here. So, you know, for those of you, for all 8 of you who are checking me out right now, you got some hot insider info. It's going to be right here on this channel. So, yeah, Ante's got it pretty much on lock. He says it's a secret to everybody. Very relevant to this stream as well, since it's a Zelda reference. Oh, Garrulus, what's up, dude? I got to meet this fine gentleman at Too Many Games in Philly. Very cool dude, and I made sure to check out his channel, and he's got a really great personality. Certainly one that's really good for the type of content that he does. What is he saying here? He says, what would you think about a sequel to this game that looks like a Link Between Worlds approach? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like same world map, new events, story, etc. I don't know if it would work quite as well as A Link Between Worlds did. Again, the big draw of this game is that it had a very interesting hook, very interesting story. And revisiting that world, I think, would only detract from that, because the ending of this game it feels very definitive, right? And it leaves a little bit up in the air, but that up in the air ending is not meant to be readdressed or revisited. It's supposed to kind of give you a sense like you're not quite sure what happened, but the game slightly hints at the fact that everything's okay, right? So I would rather keep it that way, and there's not a lot of games that I would feel that way about either. I feel like almost everything is worthy of a sequel, and I know that a lot of people disagree with that approach, but for me, if something was pleasant and fun, why not revisit it? But with a game like this, it's just got a different set of rules, I suppose. Storytelling rules. Let me see. Oh, we do have bombs. Sweet. Whoops. Dave Ace. Let's see what you're asking here. He says, in your opinion, how well do you think the game runs and feels? I've heard some people say it feels great, while others say it's a bit sluggish. Okay, well, I have a lot of opinions about this game, but the one thing I will say, it starts off feeling kind of slow, and the reason for that is, of course, it's like a one-for-one not even a reimagining. I don't know what you call it. It's almost like translating it. It's like translating a Game Boy game to the Nintendo Switch. And so when you do that, and the original Game Boy game was a lot slower because there wasn't a lot of real estate for Link to walk around on due to the size of the Game Boy screen, they made him slower. And when you translate that to a Nintendo Switch, and you're really doing absolutely nothing to modernize it, really, aside from the aesthetic, and of course the fact that you have more buttons to work with, it feels slow at start. But I would say that, like, once you kind of get into the thick of it, the speed of the game is going to be the last thing that you really care about. It works. It feels like a Link's Awakening. So, you know, in that regard, the least of your worries, I suppose. It would be nice if he was able to walk a little bit faster. I think, like, honestly, it would be great if there was something on the overworld map that allowed you to move faster, because there's so much backtracking that you end up having to do. but it's not that big of a deal. And there is warp areas, so it's really just not that. Again, like the people that are probably complaining about it are probably directly comparing it to A Link Between Worlds, or even A Link to the Past, where he just has a little bit of a faster pace to himself. It's just not the case here, and you adapt to it pretty quickly. Hey, what's up, Proto Mike 5? What's up, dude? Proto Mike 5 was the first person I ever did a YouTube interview with, I believe. Actually, I don't know if that's even true, honestly, but he was definitely one of the most memorable. I like the way that he edited it. He was a very entertaining host. It's still on YouTube, too, if you ever want to check it out. Just go over to his channel and then type in She Says, and it should pop up. Oh. There we go. Got the angler key. Eh! Yeah, boy. I love what they do with hero mode. It's probably my best thing about this this version of Link's Awakening. What's up, Blitz? How you doing, buddy? Bull. I'm like dividing my attention, so I'm not playing as well as I normally do. To all the probably, it looks like we effectively doubled the audience right now, which is not saying much, but to the other 6 people that joined us right now, you can literally ask me anything. If you're more of a lurker, that's cool too, but I'm definitely, and yes, by the way, that is Ant Dude. Someone said the angler key looks like a shovel or an umbrella. I think it's supposed to look like a fish, but I guess I can see what you mean. So at the moment, I will tell you guys this, the nicest way I can put it. You could probably find Link's Awakening DX for cheaper, and there's not a whole lot here. Like obviously being able to use more buttons for some of the equipment is really nice and appreciated, but it's not $60 nice and appreciated. And the aesthetic, it's not that different from the original that I would say like, oh yeah, go out and spend $60 to play this. Like literally, if you have or have access to DX, I recommend just playing that. And actually, you know, if you still have a Wii U, I think you can buy DX off of the Wii U, I think, right? Is it the Wii U or is it the 3DS? I know it's one of the two. And I know it's a lot cheaper. $5. Yeah, $5 on the 3DS. I really recommend it. Especially, like, let's just put it this way. If you have $60 to just kind of like, you know, it's not an issue to you, then yeah, absolutely pick up this version, I guess. But like, if you are on a budget and you really want to play this game, definitely like open up your 3DS, spend the $5. It's basically the same exact experience. But for me, there is value here for me because like I grew up with this game. I was a little kid when this game came out, and it was one of the first games I ever beat. So, you know, it has a lot of sentimental value to me. And despite that, it's been decades, like at least 1 decade since I've played this game. And it certainly has been so long as since the game's launch on the original Game Boy that I completed the game. So being able to, you know, get a fresh coat of paint and play it again and actually genuinely forget a lot of the puzzles and stuff like that because of how long it's been. It's kind of nice. Someone in the chat said it looks like a $20 game. Yeah, I would say like if I was to if I was to go Antique Roadshow with this and like appraise it, I would say it's like a $30-$40 game. Honestly, it's not 60. Like 60 is Breath of the Wild. Remember Breath of the Wild? Remember how vast of an experience that was, and remember how many innovations they attached to that game. Remember that game was only $60, and then this is the same price. If we're going to say that this is like the same value as Breath of the Wild, there's just no chance. But again, it just depends on what you're in for, I suppose. All right, so it looks like there's really nothing here. I didn't see any options. Oh, you know what? Still I can't really do anything with that. I can like attach the arrows to the bombs and then probably blow up that little thing at the end of that giant gap, but I still don't have the hook shot, so I can't really do much with that. Yeah, Garrulus just mentioned the fact that even paying $40 would still feel weird because Crash and Spyro were the same price and had 3 games a pop. Yeah, so I can't really do the math there, but it's almost like $12 a game, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. I always thought that the Insane trilogy was I always thought like, wow, I would have paid 60 for that because it was 3 games and it basically did what this game did, but it was 3 games, so I thought the value was already there for 60. But the fact that they themselves looked at it and said like, these are old games, we didn't really do anything with them, all we did was just update the graphics and then left everything generally the same, and thought that was a $40 value. And it's even $40 on the Switch too, I believe, unless you want, anyone wants to tell me I'm wrong. Oh, Mirren. Can you guys hear the game okay? Can anyone let me know if you can hear it all right? It's kind of weird that you would say that to me. I know what the game is propping up. I already know how the game ends, and so in the context of the game's ending, that makes sense. But let's just suppose that Marin doesn't know what's going to happen at the end of the game. Let's suppose that the player doesn't know what's going to happen at the end of the game. Can we all agree that this is a little bit creepy? It's like, please don't forget this song.
Or me.
It's like, what the fuck? Can you back off a little bit? That's a little too much for me. Let's see what this bunny has to say, and only this bunny. It seems to be totally absorbed in Marin's song. Okay. Alright. I'm just going to assume that they all are just totally absorbed in Marin's song. It's a good song. I'll give it that. Yo, Anthony. Thank you so much. Seriously. I never advertise the merchandise, and it's just because like I'm not on hard times right now, so like I feel like pushing merch, pushing Patreon, those are things when things are really going bad. But like I make sure that it's there because there's people that still want it out there, and the fact that you, Anthony, would say that is very kind and flattering. I really appreciate it, man. Let me now warp to the next dungeon. Actually, first thing I should probably do is heal. He does trot a little bit slow, but Even when he does the boots, he's still trotting a little bit slow. All right. Ukuku Prairie. So yeah, I promise you guys, anybody here that came from the Boundary Break channel and was looking to see what's going to be happening here on this secret channel, there is going to be boundary breaking on it. The next stream that I do, I promise you, you're going to get a sneak peek look at the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate episode. So, you know, if just watching me play a game is not doing it for you, don't worry about it. We're definitely going to have something more up your alley coming up real soon. Oh, Pro Mike's got to go. Oh, that's a shame. Well, it's nice to have you here for a little while, man. Thank you for coming by. The whole thing with this game is 3DS devs didn't know how to optimize the game that well, right? I think what happened with this game is that Nintendo has finally like shelved the 3DS. This is all theory for the record, and I don't mean this as an offense to anybody who's still very happy with their 3DS handheld. But my theory is that Nintendo, you know, there was that period in time in which you had like Luigi's Mansion 3D. It was like just a 3D port of Luigi's Mansion. And like there was people saying like, you know, why is Nintendo still supporting the 3DS? And then there was also a subset of people that were like, quiet down, I still love my 3DS. I think after that year though, Nintendo was like, all right, let's just shift all of our focus over to the Switch now. And it's very, very possible that this game was one of those 3DS projects that got moved over to the Switch instead. It really doesn't feel like someone was like, hey, let's make this a main console game. That's all. Period. It doesn't really feel like a main console game at all. It definitely does feel like it was meant to be on the 3DS originally. And you know what? I'm still happy that it's on the Switch because that means you get a higher resolution. That's big. You can play it on a big screen TV. That's nice. I would much prefer that over the 3DS. Look, you know, at the end of the day, I can still play this in handheld mode. And who uses the 3D slider anymore? Not even the devs do really anymore. So it's kind of like, you might as well put all of your 3DS projects on the Switch. But at the same time, I will say this. If it was originally meant for the 3DS, the price was supposed to be around $40 on the 3DS. It probably would have been a good idea to, you know, just make it $40 on the Switch as well. But it's whatever. Anybody in the chat own this game right now, playing it, and do you like it? What's up, Rodrigo? Auntie's saying that it's too expensive for him. Dave A says, just been debating on whether to buy this or not. I do like the art style a lot. Hey, you know what? If you like the art style a lot, that's a good start, you know? You're already kind of in the right track. I guess the only things that you should know, and again, it's not me hating on the game. It just is what it is. It's there. There's a lot of weird graphical pops. Like if you come out of buildings and stuff like that, you can catch like 2 or 3 frames of grass popping in. Sometimes graphics will just kind of disappear as you're walking away from certain areas. The frame rate will drop from 60 to 30 every few seconds. You know, like within minutes. There's a little bit of slowdown here and there, like literally on the when you're looking through the map, it'll even have a slowdown. It's kind of crazy. It's not a very well optimized game, but a lot of people will say that that's just kind of negligible. Like you don't have to care about that. There are some sticklers out there. I'm not really one of those performance sticklers, but I do say this. I usually reserve that sort of forgiveness for games that are trying to be very ambitious. You know, games that are doing something really new, but are kind of new to the scene. So then it's kind of difficult to optimize your game because you're focused on something completely different. It is a little bit jarring that a game that was originally on the Game Boy is performing a little bit worse than it did on the Game Boy. Yeah, Link does only walk in 8 directions. It's very strange, and he snaps into those. It does. There's no in between frames when he does it. Like, look at. There you go. It's a little strange. What's stranger about it is that the D-pad buttons do nothing. You would think that a game that moves in 8 directions like this would allow you to be able to at least use the D-pad, but you can't. It's strictly the analog stick, and for the most part, it works. It works really, really well. There's just like one instance in which it was a little bit of a hindrance, and it was when I was using the Pegasus boots to fight a certain boss, and I would kind of instinctively try to move the analog stick at a certain angle, but Link cannot use the Pegasus boots in 8 directions. He can only use it in 4, and then kind of like directionally influence while he's moving in 1 of 4 directions. So so what would happen was when he was trying to charge at the boss, and like I would angle the analog stick in a certain way, he would just like, instead of looking up, would just go start looking left and move left, and it would completely ruin my play in that moment. So it was, you know, but that's just one instance. That's just one kind of issue that I had with how the analog stick works in this game. Yeah, right? It does look like I'm using the D-pad, but no, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to use the D-pad. Where am I going? Ah, yeah. James says, will you ever stream the hit game Solitaire? Asking for a friend. I'm really bad at Solitaire. The D-pad's for nothing. The D-pad does nothing. It is really, really strange that it couldn't just be another method of moving in directions, but it does nothing. I would play Solitaire if there was like a high demand for it, but I don't really like Solitaire. My mom used to love Solitaire. This is another weird thing too. I just don't quite understand this. I always interpreted these things as crystals back in the day. I think I assumed this because when you broke them in the original game, they would shatter, and there was like a crunch noise. At least that's how I remember it. But now in the remake, they're like balloons, like gelatinous balloons. And when you use the Pegasus boots against them, they pop instead of shatter. Check this out. Just listen for it. I'm going to keep quiet. Strange, huh? Before anything else, I just want to see what's down here. Hopefully it stays that way. That's probably what the dev team was thinking, that the crystals are too violent. I wouldn't be surprised. For what it's worth, you guys, this is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time because I love the 2D top-down Zelda games. And this one just had a really interesting story with a lot of interesting elements, like scenarios. Kind of like what Dragon Quest is, Dragon Quest is just a series of scenarios. Link's Awakening is like a more focused game that also happens to have scenarios. And those scenarios are really charming. And so, no matter what, if you pick up this game, you're still going to get those scenarios. You're still going to get the overall story. And you're still going to get the really charming looking enemy designs. I love the boss designs in the original Link's Awakening. And for the most part, they're translated pretty well into this remake. What's my favorite game of all time? Okay, I put a lot of thought into this. As a lot of people get older, most people stop picking favorites because, like with media and stuff like that, because you start to understand that there's a lot of factors that goes into what makes something good, and what would make Earthbound great could make another game bad, and what could make Zelda so great could make Earthbound look bad by comparison, right? That being said, I will give you a favorite game of all time, and I believe my favorite game, as well as going as far to say as the best game of all time, is Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo. It just, first of all, it streamlined the genre, which is RPGs, to a degree that is so streamlined, yet still so faithful to what it's supposed to be. And by that I mean, up to that point, you had games like Dragon Quest and Earthbound where it was like first person and it was just a stagnant, non-moving enemy sprite that you would just look at. Very, very unappealing interface. But then the alternative was like Final Fantasy VI was out there at the same time, and the characters would be on screen and that would look kind of nice, but they would still not actually go up to the enemies. They would just attack from the right side of the screen, and that would translate to damage to the enemy on the left side of the screen, and those enemies still would not move. They were static images. So there's that. Ooh. Whereas Chrono Trigger was just no random battles, none of that. What you're gonna get is enemies moving in real time, enemies on the world map, not world map, but on the play field in real time. And as you're playing through the battle, characters actually go up to each other and hit each other, So aesthetically, it looked great, right? But that's not enough to make it just the greatest game of all time, right? That's just one little aspect that is probably an antique of its time. Chrono Trigger still, to this day, has one of the most charming stories of all time. Oh, I thought that was going to be something. Guess not. Has one of the most charming stories of all time. It has humor. It has drama. It has intrigue. It just has so much going for it. So the story is wonderful. The characters are charming and timeless. Again, the graphics are really nice. The amount of exploration that you can do, the different time periods that you can visit, it all just comes together so well to this perfect package that no matter which way you look at it, there's almost nothing wrong with it, The only thing that people tend to give it crap for is that it's too easy. But here's the thing, right? You want to give it crap for being too easy, but it's an RPG. And what is an RPG? It's a game where you have to level grind. And what happens when you don't level grind? The game gets harder, doesn't it? Or if you don't buy equipment, the game gets harder. So how can you say that the game's too easy when you can literally set the rules against yourself if you so choose? Like if that's what you want to do, it's not hard. It's not an easy game anymore. Why does the music kind of sound like Metroid a little bit? Sounds like Metroid mixed with Groose's theme from Skyward Sword. All right, let me catch up with the chat a little bit. I was kind of going off on a rant there. Oh, Garrulus liked it. I'm really happy to hear that, dude. When did you play it? Let me know. Earthbound is one of the best, by the way. So for Anthony to say Earthbound's my jam, I gotta say it's my jam too, brother. I love it. FF7 will always be my favorite in the series. FF7's really, really good. You know, obviously, I went for this angsty phase where I'm like, nah, man, Final Fantasy VI's the best, or Final Fantasy IX's the best. I still think that Final Fantasy IX's probably the strongest one in the series, personally speaking. But Final Fantasy VII just has that, like, here's the reason why Final Fantasy VII works. First of all, it's a good game, just like 6 and 9. So, like, no matter what, it's still a good game. And then here's what it has over 6 and 9, which makes it so much more mainstream than both. It's a little bit edgier, you know? The characters are a little bit angstier. You know, they got like, there's some swear words in there. There's some characters that are more adult themed. And then, you know, it's basically, that's just basically it, honestly. But it also, was at a point in time in which you couldn't catch on to a lot of the tropes. The tropes are there, but like because it's just text and also because the characters look like block people, you can still kind of like imagine what they would look like in your head, and you can still read the dialogue any way you see fit. I remember when I would read the dialogue, I would read it as if they were real people, not you know, Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist or Ichigo from Bleach. And I think that was kind of like an edge that it had. And then, like, you know, you move on to Final Fantasy X, and Square's like, nah, this is our vision, bro. And either you have to be on board with anime or you are out. You are out of the club. So, you know, there's that. Again, I think that's a big part of what makes Final Fantasy VII so accepted and often considered the best one in the series, because there's so much that can be interpreted by yourself, and it also is just a very solid game. No matter which way you want to look at it, it's really solid. I'm certainly not a hater of 7. Yeah, 9's my favorite because the story felt the most coherent out of the entire series. That's like huge for me. The characters' motivations all make sense. They stay consistent. They grow over time. Well, to say they stay consistent would be incorrect. But they grow over time while still remaining fairly true to themselves. And it can be funny. It can be sad. It's kind of like why I like Chrono Trigger to an extent. Like, it's got the right amount of sad and jovialness to it, you know? Do I like Overcooked? You know what's funny is this game is giving me like serious Overcooked vibes. I actually do like Overcooked. I think that Overcooked is pretty good. I'll tell you this. I never used the shield so much in my life, but because it's has its own dedicated button in this game, I'm using it so much more. I played the first Wild Arms. The Wild Arms 1, it's unfortunate because Wild Arms has some really good qualities to it, but then at the same time there's a lot holding it back too. And a solid remake could really fix that game. I don't know if the story's really that good. Sorry, so full disclosure, I never beat that game myself, but it got to a point where I was like, I'm really interested in the story, but I just cannot stand how often the random encounters are. It's just too obnoxious. And it also got to a point where it was like, it just unloaded me to the overworld map, and it was just like, here you go, with no sense of direction. So there was a whole ocean, there was multiple continents, and I had no idea where to go. And just trying to explore the overworld map was such a pain. I couldn't stand it. So it got to a point where I was like, all right, I want to see how this game pans out. And so I just kind of looked up all the story elements on YouTube and watched it. And I'm still a little bit confused about what the story is exactly. So that kind of has it going against it. I like some of the characters. I like some of the charm that the characters have. The music is amazing, and that's huge for an RPG. You have to have great music. Even if you're not an OST guy, if you're playing an RPG and you have to listen to the same songs over and over again, they gotta be good. Oh, this is kind of unfair. Come on, are you serious? I can't hit you, but you can hit me, but I gotta push this block, but you're in the way? Come on. There we go. Use the shield, my dude. Yeah, I just caught up a little bit too late. I swear this music sounds like a combination of Groos's theme and Metroid. Well, that was unpleasant. Why would you do that to me? So, Master Short Pants, you're saying that you're debating on whether or not to get this game. Well, ask me anything you want. What are your apprehensions? Maybe I can help you deliberate. I don't want to just unload all of my grievances on this game and then just deter you away from it. Maybe there's other reasons why you're thinking about it, and I can help you decide. Wait, what? The glint of the tile will be your guide. Okay. Dude, can you move, please? Not towards me. James Constantine is saying, so I heard from a certain space-themed bird that you're good at Smash. This is true, my dude. Well, any player really should not be so full of themselves as to say that they're good at a game. Let's just put it this way. There's lots of people better than me, but I do love playing competitive Smash. And I try to make sure that even if I am a loser, I don't go out without a good fight. So, I mean, like, that's all I can say. It's very nice of Space Chicken to say so, though. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. If there's another space-themed bird out there, I'd be shocked. You never played the original one? Yeah, pick this up, dude. Either pick this one up, or if you have a 3DS and you have $5, if the price is what really matters to you, buy the DX version on your 3DS for $5. You'll save so much money. It's essentially the same game. The only difference is that you're gonna have Game Boy graphics instead of, you know, whatever this is. I wouldn't say this is like current gen. This is like Wii. Essentially Wii graphics. Wii graphics with high resolution, which is nice. This is 3DS graphics. Let's just say that. So what the heck do I have to get the flippers first? It has to be the case. When you say Andre, are you talking about Andre Seegers? Andre Seegers has been in tournaments? Someone says I have to do them in order. Hey, Protomike's back. What's up, dude? I didn't know that Andre used to do tournaments. That's news to me. Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do here because I think the next one is the one in the upper left. Maybe I can kind of sneak over there. Let's find out. Nope. See, I'm like on the very edge and I still triggered it, so fortunately. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really do. Yeah, see, you gotta start with the bottom right, and then the next one's the upper left, and that's deep water, so if I go in there, I'm gonna lose a heart. Let me see what we got for the map right now. Maybe here? What did I try over here? Did I... Oh, I couldn't get over there. That's why. Uh-huh. Well, I still have a key. We just gotta go back to an area in which I got blocked by a keyhole. Yeah. No. Yeah, I gotta wonder. Someone's out saying in the chat that it reminds them of a 3DS title also, and I gotta wonder if the reason why it's not optimized incredibly well is because, it's funny, isn't it? You think that if you just port it to like a main console like Nintendo Switch, it would just instantly run that much better, but that's not always the case. If you have to translate something from 3DS to a whole nother console, it can be a little bit difficult. And maybe that's what happened here. Maybe it was originally a 3DS title and they just moved over assets and the work that they did to the Nintendo Switch, and then for some reason it just wasn't, it was being finicky. Okie dokie. Here we go. Yeah, boy. Ah! Yeah. Ah, come on. What? I still get hurt. What's up with that? Don't worry, by the way, I have a fairy. I don't know if it's going to automatically heal me. I certainly hope it doesn't go by different rules than all the other Zelda games that's ever come out. Yeah. Yeah, this one doesn't want to die. This is basically like the shopkeeper, the boss. Here we go. All day, every day. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like I am manually putting in the boot rush button every single time, and it was a little bit annoying, but you know what? Man, whatever. It's just part of the challenge, I guess. I'm gonna say that's the. Oh no, this is the flippers. Right? Oh yeah. Nice. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it. It's a little glowy bit there. Hey, GG. Come on. Of course. Fireballs. Oh, that was pointless. Do me a favor. Just die. Now we can do that puzzle that we couldn't do before. Of course. Of course. I'm gonna get every single combination wrong first, aren't I? Of course. Oh, nice. Okay, we didn't waste too much time. There we go. That's like me in every social setting. Ugh! Come on, buddy. Time to go. Ah! Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I do have to use the fairy. This is unbelievable. I think this is the first video game in which Link does not get healed by a fairy upon death. Because, just so you know I'm not lying, What a wild concept. Way to subvert my expectations, game developers. There we go. A little bit of a tight fit, but we did it. Boss key, boss key, boss key, boss key. Boss key. Alright, now where do we go? Where do we go from here? Alright, there's a staircase. But where do I go? Jump down here, go over there, grab this chest, go through here, then go there, should go here. Makes sense to me, right? Does it make sense to everybody else? What's up, Lined Storm? How's it going, bud? Whoa. A rock with a keyhole. A rock with a keyhole. What sense does that make? Oh, come on now. We don't need 50 rupees. Alright, what else do we got? We got this chest right here. This is it. We go here. We save the world. Dark dog. Stabby, stabby. I'll take that. Oh, you little sneak. Oh, this is gonna happen, isn't it? Well, no, I will not. You know what I will do? I'm going to allow myself to die first before I use that, because I'm going to need that for the boss. That's not a key. Oh, I don't mean to do that. Let me get rid of my bombs. I don't want to keep making that mistake. I don't see anything left. I'm stumped. Is it maybe over here? Perhaps. I'm just looking at areas that still has deep water, right? Maybe they're being sneaky. Maybe the key is outside of the dungeon. But we'll just have to wait and see. inspect that area really quick. To the far left. Yeah, I can use you right now. No, I have the boss key, James. I don't have a regular key. They like to be very fickle like that. Oh, my goodness. Let me check out outside the dungeon real quick. There was a door to the left. Maybe it's a fairy fountain. That would be great. Oh, look at you. I'm Manbo, child of the sunfish. Have you got an ocarina? Yes. Ah ha ha. Then I can teach you my song, bloop. This is the first song remix in the game that I've enjoyed. Manbo's Mambo. When you get out of the water, play it. Ooh, that's good. All right. Finally. Can you heal me too? Please. I'm begging you. Well, I suppose... Let's try Manbo's Mambo. Because if I do Manbo's Mambo... Theoretically, I can warp to a fairy fountain. He says that I can warp to him, but I don't see a warp point. I think you're full of it, buddy. And there isn't a way to jump into the water from the opposite side, it looks like. I'm gonna verify that. No, I suppose you can. What's in here? Ooh, that'll heal me up. There we go. That'll do it. Look for the green pipe. Okay. Can I swim faster? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, man. Alright, well, let's look at the map again. Again, I couldn't possibly imagine where the key is. So, again, to summarize all the rooms in this dungeon, maybe here. Maybe I gotta kill the monsters in this room and then the key will drop here. Let's try that. How convoluted does that have to be? If that ends up being the case, again, it probably took me a long time to figure that out as a little kid, if that's what's gonna be the case. And I say that because those enemies aren't easy to kill either. I think you have to use like magic. Wow. Lost my confidence there. Cryptic. Oh! He just suddenly had. Okay, so in order to kill these guys, you need magic powder. Right. There you go. Dead Zos. We have one arrow. Might as well use it. No. Why on earth is there just this one empty space? Well, at least it's not that. Someone's saying that the compass will jingle if... And I do have the compass. Doesn't say it there. But yeah, I do have the compass. But will it jingle for just a key and not a box? I'm going to start checking the other areas. That have staircases. They came at me at every angle. Chat, keep an eye out for keys at the bottom of the water. Look for anything at the bottom of the water. That could be it. Oh, I remember now. Okay. The key fell in the hole over here. But then how do I get in there? Alright, I'm going to start going into staircases. Yeah, I'm going to try the staircase to the right. Let's try that. It descends. Oh, have I even been down here before? I don't think I have. Oh, for the love of Pete. There we go. Hello. Alright. Are we ready to finish this dungeon? Oh, you like that epic dodge there? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. Hold on, I'm going to save that. There we go. Bloopers. Good thing I'm Link and not Mario. Alright, here we go. Don't get scared now. Duh. I'm getting scared. Perfect! Doesn't get any better than that. Oh! Go, 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 go! Ooh, I like that. I remember this boss being a pushover in the original game. Like he died almost instantly. Ah! Be gone! Yeah, not so hard. Has a light on his head, runs in the wall. Good point. He has perfect visibility. Why would he ever do that? We must swim. We must swim to freedom. I think. We must swim somewhere. We have to get an instrument. Where do I go for the instrument? Oh, that's right. There was a trapdoor. Trapdoor will now open now that big boy is dead. Right? Yeah. Oh, this is going to sound pretty because it's a harp. You ready? Total silence, everybody. All right, I feel pretty cheated right now. That didn't sound anything like a harp. And, oh. Game is calling me Bay. I didn't realize we were on that level. Now I have to go to a bay. Yeah, I guess you missed the boss, Ante. Ante or Auntie. I hope your name's not Auntie. That's gotta be really confusing. You had a family get together, somebody yells out, Auntie! And then you turn around. No, I meant Auntie. Sorry. I'm just used to saying Auntie. I can't wait to get to the part. Oh, what? My little friend here. Look at you. You look sad. And you have what appears to be growths on your head. Hopefully, it's benign. We all wish the best for you, my little ghost friend. I had your cereal earlier this month, and it was delicious. Someone should talk to your friends at Kellogg's and let them know that I would buy that any time of the year. Let's see, how do we get you back? We need to get you here. Oh, oh. It's Anton. What's up, Anton? Come on, ghost friend. You're really a slow one, if I'm to be honest with you. We'll get you home. House, take me to the house at the bay. I've got waterfront property. I gotta admit to you guys. Hold on. Someone's asking me a question. Do you wear your pointy glasses out on the town, or are they video only? I assure you they are video only. I have a hard enough time fitting in with normal society as it is. Here, enter my house. Yeah, I thought you were gonna go in there before me, dude. That's fine. We'll do it together. I love the music in this. This one, the reason why the music in this house is so good is because it's barely different from the original version. I feel like this ghost sums up this entire game. Boho. Yeah, I guess. Well, you know, when you have such a big house that you're trying to fill up the space as best you can, I suppose it's normal to have a bed in the middle of it. Like you don't know what to do with all this space. You already have your enormous house plant and 4 pots. What else can you do? Enough, cemetery. Take me, my grave. You're a very needy ghost. This whole adventure here was pointless. This did nothing for you. And this, you're telling me that your house has never changed? So you basically lived in this dump? It was always this dilapidated. Someone in the chat says, I am really feeling this ghost right now. Listen, dude, it's not your time, okay? We need you here. This ghost is already dead. I don't know if I can warp or not, or if I have to walk the whole way. I don't want to risk it. Can I outrun the ghost? my grave with the flowers. I'm a little flying ghost, and I'm really sad, so take me to my grave. Bah! My stream should be at 60 frames per second. Someone just asked. You think I have a beautiful singing voice? Well, thank you. I have been told that I can do a spot-on singing impression of Tom DeLonge. So, that's the guy from Blink-182. My grave! Shut up! We're almost there, seriously. Oh, he's happy. Thank you. A jar for you. Put something inside. Bye, bye. I never even got to know you. Oh, wait a second. Bottles weren't in the original game, right? But that ghost was. So what did he originally give you? Hoot, it's been some time since our paths crossed, lad. You must dive into the waters of Martha's Bay to enter Catfish's maw. The closer you get to the windfish, the more restless he sleeps. Carry onward, hoot. Carry on my wayward hero. Help me pierce when you something. Alright, I'll have to, next time I come across the owl, I'll give him his own voice. I'm just trying not to make it this cringe. I almost said I'm trying not to make this cringe to stream. But I'm actually going for the opposite. Just sing the whole stream and you'll be happy. I guarantee you won't be. Let me see. I'm assuming this is where they actually want me to go. Boom, 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 dun, 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 dun. Alright, Metal Gear. Martha's Vineyard. I mean Bay. I meant Bay. Embrace the cringe. Trust me, the day I embrace the cringe is the day I lose everybody. I lose my friends. I lose my family. Everyone, including the viewers. See, James gets it. Ooh! You got a heart piece. Oh. I guess I wasn't supposed to do that. You thought the Sailor Moon video was cringy? Yeah, of course. Give me the bombs. Yo, that's wild. The guy who's planning on buying T-shirts thought that the Sailor Moon video was cringy. You know, it's. I don't know. When I made it, I got a little emotional, I guess. Truthfully. Because honestly, you know, you read the story and you can't help but feel a connection, you know, with the person who's sharing all the information. It's crazy. And I mean, like, who hasn't lost a job before? Who hasn't done something? Well, I guess I can relate to that. You know, I've done something so crazy once that, like, I got pulled aside at work and then fired, you know? And it's such a scary feeling. And then you feel miserable afterwards. And I suppose while I was making the video, a part of that came out in the presentation. I didn't talk about, like, Dan Rathers. You know, I felt bad for the people involved. But I guess I could see how that would be a little cringy, honestly. I wouldn't take it back. I'd still do it the same way, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. What is Super Kirby Clash?